Home Center's Sunday service. From the Home Center ministerial team, Minister of Prayer Reverend Joe Pinecoffer. Thank you, God, for hearing our prayers and forgiving us when we seem to be begging. Guide us with your love into learning how to state our prayers in a positive, pleasant manner. Bless our prayer box and all that it represents here in the Home Center. I have not mentioned our prayer box for some time now, yet I know it is always in use by Spirit. Bless us all as we bless one another and protect us in your love and light. So be it. Amen. And now I'll turn the podium over to Reverend Jay.
Okay. Well, good morning, Sunday morning. And to start out this whole time, in order to get my team together, I believe in spirits and God's spirits and everything. I walk through the house and tell them it's time for us to get down and do some conversation because I don't know what to talk about today. So it's up to you guys. And they just told me, take your time because we're not all here. When they finally showed up, then I said, okay, I'm going into meditation and I'm expecting you to come up with some answers. And I've got some questions for you. And one of them is, when can this pandemic activity be over? Or will it just wind down? And I waited, and there was this kind of a hum. And I thought, what? And they said, and the beat goes on. I said, we're not going to start singing that song, are we? And they said, yeah, that's about it. That's one of Cher's. It's going to just keep going on and on and on and on. And until the public is caught up in this me attitude, and you're going through a whole change. This is the change from family to community. Look at what you've done. You moved all the senior citizens, your grandparents, out of the house into their own housing. And who's the first ones to disappear with this new activity that's been going on? Because their body wasn't strong enough to fight off this infection. And they don't have this help of the whole family to beat the game. And that's one of the things that we should be looking at is what's really going on. First is the victim of the older people. Now we're starting to get youths getting involved. Other people, age groups are getting involved. And I kind of talked back to him and I said, when is it going to end? He says, when the people decide they're healed and made whole and we're going to think beyond myself. Start thinking community. Start thinking regardless of race, creed, and color. Let's go. We're here to be on this planet. And kind of difficult talking with them from time to time. I lose my patience and they lose their patience with me. They're like human beings, so we might as well get along with it. And I said, well, what can we do to make a difference? Let's get on to that. And he said, well, what do you think the reason we put that lighthouse in your picture of your center is to help people find the answer. This isn't just traditional religion where we put all the things on God. This is a working process of helping each person solve their own journey, and whatever they came here to perform, that's what our task is to do. And with all of this chaos going on, we have not practiced. We're sitting around worrying about this activity, but what if we, every one of us are healers. And what have you been doing with it? You've been sitting there on your hands, doing nothing. My little Scotch guy would just love to come in and play games with us, but not today. And we need to practice healing. And we do a thing here in the home center is put our hand on the heart and the left hand out and pull in, and we send a message to the DNA, so everyone in my clan, the DNA relationship, feels an unconditional love, whatever I'm sending. And they said, are we doing that now for everybody in the world? Because we have just been exploded into the idea that we're all down to one. OPB had a thing where they showed that two races of people got together and they made all of us. All the people are related because those two DNAs got together and built all of this up. So how can we discriminate against any of them? So I'm looking at that DNA and thinking, okay, let's do that part. Then we have to practice on sending it in a pure form and sending it out. Sending it out to all the DNAs. And it doesn't cost us anything. It's a place to practice. If you got 10 minutes of complaining, that's the 10 minutes you should be using on sending unconditional love. And that's when you start sitting in, connecting into the earth. Those of us who are very fortunate to have gardens to play in, we get a chance to feel all the great goodies that are in there, and we can pull on those to send to the people, what do you need? We can do our own healing. Wouldn't it be great if we sent enough healing out that nobody had to see a doctor for a while? They'll be the ones that are unemployed instead of riding around in their Cadillacs or Rolls Royce or whatever. It's our turn to enjoy everything. But sending that energy out in a pure form, and what do you need? And the majority of the population believes they're a victim, and with all this fear and restricted going on, they don't even know how to receive the gift that's being sent out to them. And that's what I'm looking at for the healers. We need to open the door, knock on the door, and then the way to knock on the door is to hit them in the DNA. Put them right out there. Say, here we go. All of us are related. Let's feel that and something's going on, and it's goodies, and it feels nice. And it gives me a sense of comfort and stability, and it just keeps feeding it, feeding it. We no longer have grandma living here with us anymore. We don't live with the family because my job took me way across the country, so the family's disappeared. I don't have them for support. So what support do I have? I have all the community, everyone, because we're all related. We may be just born to these people, but in the reality of all of these bodies are all related, and our souls come from the same source. Think of that. The source we come from, the soul, all the bodies are related from the DNA. So why is all this roaring and discrimination and hatred and all this activities going on? How can we build a tomorrow where everyone has a gift to add for the advancement of everyone? A person who knows how to sew has enough to help us with our clothes, to the person who knows how to put together a computer and make it work, or all of this other activity in between. We all have a function to help everyone. But the question here is, we're so caught up in, well, I didn't get this activity. I didn't get this along the way. Of course, we didn't get everything we wanted. I don't know about you, and as Madge has often said, I used to get a lot of notes to take home from the teachers to my parents, and I liked what my parents wrote on it. They didn't understand me either, and they just wrote, it says, he's not our problem, he's with you. So when he's with you, it's not our problem. We have enough of them here. And that's true. I've said, we have to find a way to become humane, have humanity for everyone, regardless of who they are, regardless of their size, color, what relationship, where they came from. Even if they speak funny, that's okay. But they're all part of the evolution of all of us. We need every piece that they have to put our puzzle together. And that's what we put here on this earth about, is this is a gigantic puzzle. And each one of us is being putting in these little pieces. And one day it's all going to fill up. And when it's all finished, it's going to talk about humanity, where everybody is in the fourth quadrant of the astrology chart, where they think about how can I help you be more? How can I help you to find comfort in yourself? How can I help you? I'm not going to say God's got to do it. How can we learn it? That's why we're here in the physical, so that you can feel it and sense it, take ownership of it. And we're all going to feel it differently. We all, when we take a taste of an apple, we all take the same apple and bite into it. Our senses feeds differently, and that's still okay. And this is what this whole journey is about. And it's hard. So hard to be on earth here. When we're in the spirit world, we don't have this cumbersome body to do anything. All we do is just float around, watch everybody else's business, and sometimes we inspire them into ups or downs, ins or outs. I think we have some mischievous spirits over on the other side too. But I'm asking you on this day to start thinking about, I can heal my own body, because the doctors can only put it back together, but I do the healing. I put the temperature in there and I make it work and I put it all together. If I can do that for me, then I can start pulling in that extra and sending it out to all the people with the same DNA. How about 10 minutes a day that you spend some time pulling in the energy, chemistry from Mother Earth, see it in a gigantic ball, and you're pulling it in and you start sending that into my DNA, and I'm broadcasting it to everybody that's on my frequency. I love you. And you got to be able to say, I love you, because if you don't like yourself, we're in trouble already. So you have to get to the point, I like myself too. Not that arrogant kind of self, but it's acceptance. This is the best vehicle I have for this soul at the present time, so I better respect it, because I'm getting a lot of mileage out of it. And we've got to change this. I had a fantastic birthday 6 months ago, and we haven't done anything in 6 months. I'm telling you, this is like being into a great big prison. I'm looking to see outside where the bars are, because I think somewhere, there used to be a movie out, at the end of the street was the end of the whole world, and I'm thinking, I want to take a ride down someplace to see if it goes beyond the city limits. So are we safe? Can we run away from this? But we can. So what I'm saying is, I don't want God to do it. Show me. If I can practice healing on myself and practice healing on everyone else, one of the systems I use, I see a gigantic blanket roll all up, and I put it in the ocean. And the first thing I do is unroll it, and I roll it all across the west coast, and we go out over the mountains, down through the middle of the United States, and then up over the Appalachians and down the coast, and all full of sea salt, so it neutralizes all of anger or fear. And then I send this other blanket and roll that one back up and throws it in the Atlantic Ocean so it can be purified. Then I go through all the plants, all the earth energies, all the crystals, everything else. What do these people need out there? And hit into their DNA, so it goes into the soul, so it goes into the whole consciousness, that they're being loved unconditionally. Feel it, feel the warmth, feel the something that's been missing in your whole consciousness, that's been what we've been looking for. And just send it out and just watch it happen. And then the really interesting part is when every time someone does something for you, you say thank you. That helps the connection even further. today when I called someone on the phone and they had to go look up something and they came back and gave me the answer and I said, oh, thank you for looking that up for me. They said, oh, okay, you're welcome. Like it wasn't expected. And while I'm doing that, I'm sending that a whole idea of, can you feel a sense of unconditional energy coming to you, that you can find your peace so we can have peace on this earth, that we can start celebrating every day is exploration day of what can we all find our greatest gifts to give to each other, that we're not fighting over each other and having wars, blowing us apart and all of that. We can make the difference. It only takes 10% of the population to start the ball rolling. And everyone gets on board because it's the best meal they'll ever have. So I ask you, come, get on board. We're on the choo-choo train that takes us down the track to the healing of yourself and others. And let's get this pandemic thing done with so we can have the next 2,000 years of growth, family, community, and one of the greatest places to find out what unconditional love feels like in many dimensions. So think about it, work about it, and I'm hoping to feel your energy traveling through the atmosphere. Let's do it together. Have a fantastic summer and the rest of the year. Let's do a meditation together, but I'd like you to get a few pieces that you have available in your own house. You know, I'm a great one for sea salt because it neutralizes. You know, when we go to the ocean, no matter how long we're over there, we get kind of sticky afterwards, but we always feel so much better because something has taken and ground and removed some aggravation from us. We have to go fishing to find it again if you really want to get it back, but it's there. So I'd like you to go and get a cup of water and put some sea salt in it to remind you that you're at the big ocean. And in that big ocean is all the minerals of the earth. And in that ocean is the sea salt to neutralize. Everything we need is right there for us. Feel it, sense it. And now let us close our eyes and say, I lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord and his angels. And I open myself up to receive the blessings of healing from my own physical body first. And I put out my left hand to feel all the minerals and what's in the ocean to help heal me. Bring me in balance. What do I need? I have the greatest apothecary in the world right there in the waves. In that water is all that my body is made from and is created from. And I am now pulling in the purest form, and pushing it in and filling the heart and the whole system that I have, and even healing my soul because of other lifetimes I have maybe brought some damage to this lifetime to heal. And we can do that too. And all of a sudden you will feel a sense of euphoric, a sense of peace, a sense of oneness. Just breathe it in, feel it, take ownership of it. You earn the right of it. And seeing it now being an active participant in the evolution of you, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Feel the power. Feel the power of you hear the roaring of the sea. Feel the power of the wind above the sea. Feel the healing power of the sun dancing across you at the sea. Smell the sweetness of all vegetation around you. that you're now exposed to for healing. Bring it in within your ability to handle. See it starting from the top of your head and just slowly going down through every part of your anatomy until it's out through your feet into the earth. Returning all that is no longer necessary or is no longer effective in your being. And feel it, own it. Now I have seen how it affects me and heals me. I'm going to take a few minutes and pull in and send it to my people that have the same DNA that I have. I'm going to give them an early Christmas present of unconditional love, or Easter, or a birthday gift. Something that will make them feel special, to put them back on the road of evolution, of love, of grace, of being, learning to be humanitarian in every deed and action. Feel it going through in a pure form and right to the DNA in a pure form, so when it gets to them, the body absorbs it easily because it's in a pure form. It's flooding their system, and it's carrying your feeling, your emotions, your understanding with it. A knowing. You are now demonstrating God's energy flowing through and with you and them. And we can find a peace between us because we are bonding together. We're sharing together. And we send a thought that here is all that you need to be all you can be. And send out the thought, come and allow yourself to find it every day and every way in your life, to let it grow. And one day, all across the globe, there won't be country boundaries, there won't be language restrictions, there won't be color restrictions, because we'll see our brothers and sisters helping each other, demonstrating humanity to one another, because we did our part by helping them find the way too. We begin the snowball of unconditional physical love to all humanity when we say, I love you, and here's a gift of healing and love that will last for eternity. Something that never wears out. Take it, feel it, live it, share it, be it, and so it is. Amen. How'd that come out?
That's good.
Arms around the world, around each other. Arms around the world, sisters and brothers. Arms around the world and we discover. Arms around the world, there is no